This is the brand new SCT410 2.0 from Tekno, and it's one of the most overbuilt RCs we've ever looked at, and maybe it's a little overkill, but I've got a few reasons why it's the best 4x4 SC you can buy, whether you want to race, bash, and anything in between. Reason number 1, it's 8 scale. And I don't mean physically, it's a 10 scale size truck, and if you put it up against other 4x4 SC trucks like a Traxxas Slash, the Tekno is going to be right on par with the same sizes. The wheelbases are going to be similar, it's going to use the same 10 scale SC tires, the same 10 scale SC bodies. It's a 10 scale size truck, but underneath that body, this thing is an 8 scale rig. It uses big old oversized 8 scale diffs. It has 8 scale outdrives. These are actually the 8 scale buggy outdrives on this thing. The drive shafts are also going to be 8 scale, and the drive shafts are universals going to the axles. The whole drivetrain actually is made out of hardened steel, ready for 8 scale power systems. It uses a CNC Machine 775 aluminum motor mount that's sized for 540 and 550 size canned motors, and it uses a fixed gear pitch system. There is a gearing chart in the manual to help you find the right gearing. There's also a 775 aluminum shock towers used, and the front and rear shock towers are 4 millimeters thick. There's also an aluminum chassis at 6061, and it's 4 millimeters thick also. That's thicker than most bashers. Most cars only use a 3 millimeter thick chassis. This thing is freaking gnarly. We also have 8 scale size suspension arms. These are big old solid arms used throughout this truck. There's also 8 scale size hubs and steering blocks. There's 8 scale size turnbuckles and turnbuckle ends. Everywhere you look on this thing, there are oversized, overbuilt 8 scale parts. So much so that a lot of this truck is compatible with the Tekno 8 scale buggy option parts for the EB and NB48. Now there are a few parts on the SC truck that are not 8 scale, like it still uses 12 millimeter wheel hexes so you can fit any short course tires and wheels on here. There is a 17 millimeter wheel hex conversion coming, so you can put 8 scale buggy tires on there, which you might actually need if you want to run higher 4-cell LiPo systems in here. Also, the shocks are not sized for 8 scale, although they are bigger than most 10 scale shocks, so they're a 13 millimeter bore shock. And then they used an oversized 16 millimeter springs. These springs are quite a bit wider than the shock body, so the springs will never rub on the shock body. They're extremely plush with the shock boot connecting at the lower cap of the body going down to that spring cup, and that spring cup locks on with a screw. They are really, really nice shocks, giving you 8 scale plushness and adjustability. Oh, it's just incredibly plush. Wow. Reason 2, extreme durability. Since this truck is using overbuilt 8 scale size parts, it's going to offer really good durability. It has the 4 millimeter thick chassis, so it's going to be less prone to bend. You've got the extra thick shock towers that are 4 millimeter thick also, and then those shock towers use plastic bracing behind them where the body posts actually mount. So if you take a tumbler or whatnot, the body posts are going to put that force from that hit into that bracing rather than the shock tower. The suspension components too, like those arms, they're extremely impressive, and all the other different components that make up the suspension are going to be really robust out there when it's taken some hard hits. And then on top of that, SC trucks are just, because the wheels are tucked underneath the bodies, the suspension actually stays a little bit protected underneath there. So it's a little less likely to clip a pipe or yank an arm back. SC trucks just have a bit more durability in that respect, and it's part of the reason why short course racing is so fun, because you can do a bit more bumping and rubbing without the arms and tires interfering with each other. Reason number 3, it's a race truck and it's a basher, or pretty much anything else. Tekno's a race brand. They've been making RC cars for quite a few years, and they're made to be precise, high tolerances, highly adjustable, and highly competitive on the track. That's the heritage of Tekno, so if you wanted to race this truck, you've got every adjustment that you could possibly want, like the camber links and the shock towers and the droop screws. It's fully decked out to be a competitive race truck on the track. But 4x4 SC trucks only race on 2-cell LiPo power. This truck has an 8-scale power system, and e-buggies race on 4S, and this truck can handle it. Now with that said, this is a kit, which comes with its own pros and cons. Some people are completely against building a kit, but on the flip side of that, it is a real personal experience to kind of spec out the truck however you want, and you're free to put in really low-grade components or really high-end, high-powered components. It's up to you and your budget. The build, at least for us, took about 5-6 hours. It was pretty smooth. There is one thing that was kind of confusing when you're building the turnbuckles in the front end. The ends on the turnbuckles look very similar, but they're not. So you got to pay attention to make sure you put on the right ends on the turnbuckles. But overall, it was a pretty smooth, easygoing build, and the manual is really easy to follow. The components we put in this truck are going to include the EcoPower WP250T aluminum case servo. It's got over 600 ounces of torque, and then we use that with the stock aluminum horn that comes with the truck kit. There's also a Hobbywing Easy Run Max 10 G2 combo we put in here for power. That includes 140 amp ESC, that's 2 and 4 cell compatible. And then we picked the combo that has the 2400 kV motor, and we only did that because that motor is also 2 to 4 cell LiPo compatible. There are faster motor choices in that combo selection, but they're only 2 and 3S compatible. Now for tires, you need some tires. We added some J-Concepts Landmines pre-mounted SCT tires on here, and then the slash offset. They fit on here with no issue, but they are a little bit wider than other SC wheels. But there's kind of slim pickings for pre-mounted SC wheels. These are an all-around tire, good for bashing, driving on the road or the track, and that's what we were looking for. Standard SC tires may not hold up so well on 4S power. Lastly, the truck needs a body, and we added the J-Concepts High Flow Illusion Short Course body. It comes clear, and we just painted it this simple white and added some nice decals. Oh yeah, and you have to add a pinion gear, one's not included. Last is the 4-cell test, and we've left the gearing the same for all the batteries. We had a 20-tooth pinion for the 2-cell. That's pretty good to be just driving around on. And the 20-tooth on a 4-cell is not good at all, but it will be fast for just the speed run. Wow, holy smokes. So I think that's it for the speed meter. I'm really impressed with these tires that they have not come unglued. That's insane. This is 3S. Seems like the happy medium between like all out insane power and pretty basher friendly. I think the 17mm hex conversion with some 8-scale buggy tires though would be super rad on this, and then you could really utilize that 4S power. But let's throw it on the track and try it out. Maybe 3S is a little too much on the track, I don't know, but it's a lot of fun. We still have the J Concepts Landmine tires. They're basher tires. And I don't have much time on this track, so this is still kind of practice for me. But the truck handles really good. It has a ton of steering. And with a little bit of setup tune, maybe to back out some of that steering and get a little bit more traction in the rear end, the truck is an awesome racer. The suspension feels really good. That's one of the biggest things you notice about it. Landing right off the jumps, really crucial. And you can see I'm not doing that good of a job of it. But overall, the truck is really awesome. It's so cool. This is pretty steep right here. I wonder if we can put that 4-cell back in and backflip up this.
How bad is it for it if it lands on without a body?
Let's do it. The tires rubbing on the body with 3 and 4 cell LiPo use gets really dang annoying. You could trim the body, but if you're gonna race with that body, you might not want to cut it out too much. I think the ticket's gonna be the 17mm hex conversion with 8-scale buggy tires. When you bash, that'll work really well. Overall, the truck is amazing though, and it's tight and precise, and it handles so well around the track, and it's still super strong and durable for really bashing it out there on high-powered systems. It's an awesome little truck in its 10-scale size. Definitely the best 4x4 SCT you can buy right now, and definitely recommend it. Guys, I'm Brett from AMain Hobbies. Go check out the Tekno SCT410 2.0 and all the other components that we use to put this together with our links down below. And if you want more RC videos, well, check these out.